So we've done a few exercises based on Dawson, and we've got a few more to do. We've looked at primary and secondary sources, the difference between the two. We've done a small exercise which has reminded us that both primary and secondary sources range in quality, and we need to be careful that we choose high quality sources, high quality primary sources and high quality secondary sources. We've just done a lesson on research objectives, aims and objectives, and this is linked to the issue of a research question, a statement that tells us why we are conducting a research project. And here are some very, very helpful hints provided by Dawson about how to and how to not develop a research question. So she makes the following comments about what a research question should look like. It should be relevant, it should be clear, and it should be simple. There is nothing wrong with short, clear, and simple when it comes to doing ethnographic research. It should be workable and allow for the collection of the required data over time and within budget. In other words, do not be too ambitious. Many students get incredibly enthusiastic of all the things that they want to do, and most of us have that natural inclination, that natural desire to do lots and to be ambitious, but be careful about that. Research questions should be well formulated, credible, and easy to understand. It should be specific, should be narrow, and it should be defendable. If people ask you why you're doing this, you can come back and explain. I like to talk about research questions being narrow and deep. They are better than broad and wide. They should lead to research that extends or adds to existing knowledge and lead to interesting, significant, and influential research. In order for you to do this, you need to have read research written around similar topics, and if you are doing a research project in a specific place, you need to be aware of the other research recently completed or completed in the historical past, so that you are able to say this is a significant contribution. Okay, you need to, a research question needs to lead to a research design and analysis that holds scientific credibility if it is stated in a hypothetical form. Okay, so it needs to be a question that leads to a research design or research methodology that is going to be scientifically or academically credible. A research question should allow for more than one outcome and possibility. Number 7, it should allow for variability and different results under a variety of conditions. And this may be particularly true for research that is proving a hypothesis, but this is also true for more naturalistic and descriptive research, which mostly ethnographic research is a part. Number 8, it should allow for adaptation and change with certain qualitative methodologies. And so a research question should allow for when you start a research project, you have an interest, you have a question, you have aims and objectives, you narrow that down to a question. you start to collect information and you realize that actually you need to tweak, not completely change, but adapt your question because you have seen a lot of interesting evidence. And lastly, a research question should be consistent with the requirements of your course and assessment. That is an important point. So this is what a research question should be like. If you are struggling to develop your research question, you should try working through the following stages. Okay, so let's go to full screen. We're going to go to full screen now, and let's have a closer look at some of these. So if you are struggling to develop a research question, you should try working through the following stages. You need to choose your research, the topic of your research. Maybe you need to undertake some preliminary background research to find out about other research on this topic. Are you able to add to existing knowledge or develop new knowledge on this topic? You also need to think about your audience. Who are you writing to? Does your chosen topic provide enough scope to the work at the right intellectual level? Think again about your goals. What could be built on existing knowledge or encourage change in practice? For example, number 6, start to ask relevant questions and pick the one that is most suitable. Develop this question into your research question. Make sure that it is focused and complex. Number 7, reflect, analyze and hypothesize. Is your question suitable and workable? Rewrite your research question a number of times. Once you are happy with your research question, present it to your peers, your classmates, and to your tutor, your supervisor for feedback. And modify and define your research question as possible. Developing the right research question is crucial to the success of your research project. However, it can take a long time to develop a good workable question, so try not to become frustrated or impatient. Speak to fellow students and read more about the subject if you are struggling.